In late 2024, an explosion in the Masyaf area turned global attention to Syria. Dozens of elite Israeli commandos soared away in CH-53 helicopters, leaving behind the burning ruins of one of their enemy's most dangerous projects, a hidden hub designed to produce weapons so advanced no target in the region would have been safe. Unlike countless airstrikes before it, this destruction didn't rain down from the skies. It erupted from deep within the earth. For months, the operation remained a mystery, shrouded in nothing but whispers and speculation. Rumors swirled of what Israeli forces had encountered as they descended into the enemy's underground stronghold, armed with enough explosives to make the ground quake for miles. Now, the world has finally gotten an answer. Israeli forces have declassified Operation Many Ways, revealing the technological fortress they discovered beneath the mountain, and what they found inside. The target. Until last year, Masyaf harbored one of the most advanced underground weapons centers in the Middle East. Known officially as the Deep Layer Facility, it was the product of years of construction and planning by Iranian forces. Designed to be immune to the airstrikes that have been destroying overground facilities in the region since 2017, the site was carved somewhere between 230 and 430 feet beneath a mountain region far away from Israeli territory. For years, the Deep Layer Facility remained hidden from the public. It wasn't until September 2024, when Israeli forces executed a raid, that the world caught a glimpse of it for the first time, right before its impending destruction. Yet the full extent of the facility and its true purpose remained concealed until the recent declassification of Israel's operation. Built in a horseshoe shape, the facility featured 3 main entrances, each serving a distinct function. One for bringing in raw materials, another for logistics and operational planning in secured offices, and a third designed to discreetly transport finished missiles and rockets. These were set to be long-range precision-guided missiles, crafted to strengthen Hezbollah and the Assad regime's ability to strike deep into Israel. With an estimated production capacity of 100 to 300 missiles per year, the facility was poised to become a game-changer in regional warfare. Footage released by the Israeli commandos who infiltrated the compound provides a glimpse into its interior. The facility housed 16 specialized chambers, overflowing with advanced machinery, including highly coveted planetary mixers, vital for crafting missile-grade solid propellants. These mixers, combined with the facility's cutting-edge engineering, enabled the production of weapons far more sophisticated than anything previously seen in the arsenals of Israel's enemies. By the time Israeli forces launched their raid, 2 missiles had been completed, with 4 solid propellant rocket motors awaiting assembly. Engines of this kind offer an edge. They require no fueling before launch, allowing for rapid deployment and enhancing their effectiveness in surprise attacks. Their range, exceeding 190 miles, placed key Israeli targets within striking distance. If this operation had taken any longer, critical hits could have put military targets and civilians at severe risk. Preparing for strike. The raid on the Deep Layer Facility was years in the making. From the moment the site's first stone was laid, Israel's intelligence directorate had its eyes on Masyaf. Using satellite imagery, Israeli forces tracked every stage of the facility's development. Every detail was scrutinized, its layout, defenses, and purpose. As soon as the bunker was confirmed to be a hub for manufacturing advanced weaponry, Israeli officials knew they had to act. And yet, the complexities of conducting such an operation deep within enemy territory left military forces paralyzed, struggling to find the right approach to conduct the mission. As equipment kept arriving at the facility and tests were carried out, the countdown to the facility's first deployment began. Israel had no more time to assess the best course of action, yet the risks remained. Syrian and Iranian forces were stationed nearby, and the factory's far location from the Israeli border made the possibility of deploying aid in the event of an emergency a challenge. Moreover, the underground defenses of the complex could require heavy machinery to bypass them. In response to the raid's high demands, the Israeli defenses began to plan Operation Many Ways. For 2 months, members of the Shrouded unit, Israel's elite special operations force, and Unit 669, its combat search and rescue specialists, underwent rigorous training. The troops rehearsed every aspect of the operation, perfecting their movements down to the second. Some commandos even underwent forklift certification, an unusual skill that was deemed vital for navigating the facility's internal logistics systems. Meanwhile, extensive air and naval support plans were devised to ensure maximum cover and diversion, leaving no room for error. But even with this level of preparation, the timing of the raid had to be perfect. On September 8, 2024, the stars aligned. Clear weather, ongoing regional conflicts, and a carefully orchestrated deception campaign created the perfect window to strike. Infiltration. As night fell in the Mediterranean Sea, 120 elite commandos launched into one of the most ambitious missions disclosed by the Israeli military in recent history. Aboard 4 CH-53 helicopters, they raced through the night, flying dangerously low and fast over the sea, skimming the waves to avoid detection by Syria's radar systems. These aircraft were shadowed by AH-64 attack helicopters, rotors slicing through the air, ready to rain firepower at the first sign of resistance. Overhead, an arsenal of 21 fighter jets, 5 drones, and 14 reconnaissance aircraft prowled the skies, their advanced sensors scanning for threats and relaying real-time intelligence to the infiltrating forces. Meanwhile, Israeli Navy missile boats launched decoy strikes, slamming nearby targets to sow confusion among Syrian forces. Simultaneous airstrikes erupted across the region, igniting flashes of fire and combat scenes across the area, designed to thin out defensive positions and divert attention from the real target. In just 18 minutes, the helicopters crossed the Syrian coastline and touched down near the entrances of the deep layer facility. The commandos moved according to plan. The first team secured the perimeter, neutralizing 2 guards and ensuring no alarms were raised. The second team surged forward, confronting the facility's reinforced doors. Breaking through these gates proved one of the operation's biggest challenges, taking the team nearly an hour of relentless effort to breach the barriers. Forklifts became the key to secure access to the facility, as troops commandeered them to breach the defenses, carving a path toward the operation's primary objective, the total annihilation of Iran's underground stronghold. Overhead, Unit 669 hovered, ready for action, stationed aboard helicopters laden with medical supplies and rescue equipment should the mission turn against them. For a moment, the stealth and diversion tactics seemed to have worked perfectly, with the Israeli forces maintaining their foothold within the facility virtually unchallenged. But soon, the radios crackled with a warning. Syrian troops were mobilizing. Though the facility had evaded radar defenses, its presence had been exposed. Syrian reinforcements began moving toward the site, forcing the ground troops to reduce the time on the facility as much as possible. Fortunately for the team, Israeli fighter jets had unleashed precision airstrikes to obliterate roads and key reinforcement routes, halting the enemy's advance. The facility's isolated location suddenly turned into a tactical advantage for Israel, buying the troops enough time to move to the final phase of the raid. Inside the facility. Once inside the horseshoe-shaped tunnels of the deep layer facility, the commandos loaded the site with over 650 pounds of explosives, each payload meticulously placed at strategic points throughout the underground complex to ensure the facility's capabilities would be irreparably destroyed. In order to navigate the labyrinthine hallways, the team employed a quad bike specifically brought to ferry the explosives as quickly and efficiently as possible. Outside, a surveillance team stationed on a nearby hill deployed an armed drone tasked to patrol the perimeter. Reportedly equipped with explosive ordnance, the drone was critical to neutralize any advancing Syrian soldiers if necessary, a tactic which, according to recent reports, has been honed during previous Israeli missions aimed at diverse enemy targets. With the explosives in place and connected to a remote detonator positioned at the entrance, the commandos turned to their final task, securing vital intelligence documents. In video footage later shared by the Israeli forces, soldiers can be seen inspecting stacks of what presumably are classified files as they clear each room. However, with the mission nearing a climax, the commandos had limited time before being called to regroup and began their withdrawal. Securing as much intelligence as possible, the troops proceeded to exit the facility before the final blow. The final blow. As the last of the troops boarded the CH-53 helicopters, the remote detonator was triggered. A blinding flash illuminated the night sky for miles as the ground beneath the deep layer facility convulsed, sending debris and fire into the air. Footage released by Israeli forces later captured the magnitude of the blast, described by one of the commandos as, quote, a mini earthquake. Despite the stakes, the mission was completed in under 3 hours with flawless precision. No injuries or casualties were reported among the Israeli forces. However, the Israel Defense Forces assessed that 30 Syrian guards and soldiers were taken down during the raid, while Syrian media claimed 14 lost lives and 43 wounded. As the helicopters ascended and disappeared into the shadows, one of Iran's most advanced missile production facilities lay in ruins beneath. Following the operation's declassification, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu delivered a cautionary message, quote, "Those who strike Israel will pay a very heavy price for it." Beneath the surface. In the months that followed, the collapse of the Assad regime triggered a withdrawal of Iranian forces from Syria. While no direct link has been officially established between the destruction of the deep layer facility and Assad's fall, it could be inferred that the obliteration of such a critical stronghold may have tipped the scales, emboldening rebel forces in their fight to liberate the nation just a couple of months later. The intelligence documents recovered during the raid confirmed that the facility was near completion. If allowed to become fully operational, it could have dramatically altered the regional balance of power, giving Iran and its proxies the ability to strike deep into Israel's territory with a new arsenal of precision-guided missiles. Yet, even with this resounding success, Israel is not letting its guard down. The deep layer facility is not the only underground bunker in the region. Recently, another complex was found underneath the mansion of Maher al-Assad, commander of the 4th Armored Division within the Syrian army and brother of former Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. These recent discoveries hint at a broader network of underground complexes throughout the region. These fortresses, designed to remain invisible, may still harbor unknown threats buried deep beneath the surface. For now, the Israeli Defense Forces have vowed to remain vigilant, stating simply, quote, "We will continue to act strategically and professionally with various methods and tactics to remove threats directed at the citizens of Israel."